You see, TikTok is created by a Chinese company called ByteDance. And ByteDance is actually partnered with the CCP, like the Chinese government. In their agreements, which you can literally read in the terms of service, they are legally obligated to send user data to the CCP, which essentially means that the Chinese government has your data. They know what you're addicted to. And that might not seem too bad, right? Oh yeah, what do they want with data? Look, it's very interesting because we're quite young and you've probably heard more and more over the last few years about data, haven't you? And you probably thought like, why do people take that so seriously? Our data, like, we go onto a new website and it says like, oh, your data tracking cookies, and we just press accept. Like, it doesn't make a difference, right? When you're quite young and almost oblivious to this, you don't really think anything about your data. You don't really think your data is worth much. Up until you realize that that's just because we've lived a very like comfortable, sheltered life here in the West, or, in some more developed countries like India, Pakistan, and everything. Because you see, in some parts of the world, in particularly China, your data is used to totally control you. So here in the West, our data is used to like track our shopping so they can sell us more stuff. Yeah, fair enough. Okay, who cares? Like, oh yeah, we'll be shown more adverts. Okay, fine, who cares? It's not that important, right? But in China, and this is really true, like they already have what's called like a social credit system. Like they've essentially got like a score. If you've ever watched that Black Mirror episode, I think it's called Nosedive, where it's like everyone has like a 5-star rating out of 5 stars of like what you'd rate each other for, your social mannerisms and everything. In China, they have that. Like they literally give you like a social credit score. And if your score is too low, they literally restrict your freedom. You can't travel, you can't take buses, you can't take trains. And there's an article I read which showed that when there was like some kind of protest in China, they literally locked it down using people's data like this. Like they stopped people from being able to like leave the protest so that they could get arrested. They stopped people from being able to enter the protest by stopping like certain like QR codes or something, like people's like data from being able to buy trains and everything. You don't realize how much your data can control you just because just yet we haven't experienced that in the West. And this then coupled with the fact, and you might have heard this, that in China, the TikTok algorithm promotes a very different kind of content than it does in the UK. The algorithm in China has been meticulously designed to promote the kind of content that will inspire their young people to become hard and disciplined. What does the algorithm in the West promote? Degeneracy.
In their version of TikTok, if you're under 14 years old, they show you science experiments you can do at home, museum exhibits, patriotism videos, and educational videos. Now, they don't ship that version of TikTok to the rest of the world. It's almost like they recognize that technology is influencing kids' development, and they make their domestic version a spinach version of TikTok, while they ship the opium version to the rest of the world.
How is this linked? What does this all mean? So TikTok in the West promotes degeneracy, and you've known this, right? You've seen these little TikTok girls shaking ass and all this. Like sometimes you see like real fucking porn, like you see some like actual like nudity on TikTok in the West and everything. Little 13-year-old boys are seeing this stuff. This was actually an interesting article. If a 13-year-old boy typed OnlyFans in TikTok, some shit like that, like if he typed it or searched it or whatever, he would be then shown like a bunch of OnlyFans. Like of course, do you know what I mean? If you search OnlyFans or if you like show an interest in like the OnlyFans and the data picks up, no matter if it even knows that your account is owned by a 13-year-old, it will start to show you literal OnlyFans models that are trying to tell you to like, subscribe to their fucking OnlyFans list. Do you understand the severity of this? Because many people won't at this point. This just seems, oh, well, like, yeah, they're just making people here degenerates, like addicted to sex and, shaking ass or whatever. And in China, it's making them productive. It doesn't seem that bad, right? This will only really make sense. Like the severity of this will only make sense if you know the consequences of a sexualized nation. There's a quote: if you want to destroy any nation without war, make adultery or nudity common in the young generation. And this quote is becoming more and more realistic. It's become more observable. A country falls when especially the young people become too sexually free. Fuck, this video can get really fucking deep. I really hope you can follow along with me. So far, okay, let me just do a recap. So far, we've covered the issues with TikTok. It's extremely addicting. We've covered that TikTok is made by the company ByteDance that reports literally to the CCP, which means that they share data there. And that TikTok's algorithms promote degeneracy, nudity, adultery, open sexual revolution in the West, but then very restrained, disciplined in the East and in China.